Welcome back to the ABC of EDC. I'm Rick Flat, your host as always. I got a confession to make. For around 7 years, 8 years, I've been breaking the law. So before we get into the true nature of my law breaking, just a little bit of business. Would you mind, if you're watching on YouTube, to take a moment to like, subscribe, press the little bell icon, do some commenting. Everyone loves a bit of commenting. No one can get hurt from commenting. Look down in the little description box, find out Instagram, find the link to our other podcast channel, The Mothership, the Flat Earth Podcast, and head on over there for all your podcast needs. Brilliant. Now you've done that, we can relax, breathe out, and we can just talk. So what have I been doing for these last 6, 7, 8 years that's been breaking the law? It's quite simple. I've been carrying a knife. This knife. The model of this knife is by Kershaw. It's called the Kershaw Chive. It's not an amazing watch. Not an amazing knife. It's not particularly sharp. It's certainly not particularly big or slim or made of any exotic materials, but it's a lovely little knife. I wonder if I can get my camera to focus. Come on, camera. Come on, camera. You can do it. Yeah, there you go, baby. There you go. Not a particularly amazing watch. It's not even a blade shape that I particularly like. But the reason it's illegal is this little bit in there. I don't think you can see it. That's a liner lock. And essentially what that does to this little knife is once it's opened, you can't close it with pressure alone. You have to put your thumb onto the liner lock and then ease it with your finger. So it opens like any folding knife. It's a little bit assisted actually. It's got a really nice little opening, this, man. It's always satisfying, isn't it, when you see people just, you know, it's got a lovely little opening. This I do like this blade. It is nice. But the lock in here, now you get lots of all kinds of different locks, axis locks, this like this, a little liner lock or a frame lock or a little lock on the spine, you know. In the UK, there are very strict rules on knives, and I thought it'd be good to talk about this knife, talk about the fact that after all this time, I'm going to retire this little knife. This is going to go out of my everyday carry, on person carry, and going to end up living in here, living in a bag, or living in, you know, maybe just being taken from one place to another for work purposes and for outdoors monotonous. But yeah, I'm going to retire this little thing because this thing, I don't know how much this costs. I don't think it's a particularly expensive knife, but the reason I don't know is because this was a gift to me on a very significant trip to Colorado Springs with some great friends and some great memories. But I thought I'd take this chance talking about this UK illegal knife, to talk about what is UK legal, to talk about the story of this knife. Every story, every tool, in fact pretty much every everyday carry item has a story. Often the only reason we carry things long term, key rings, wallets, watches, jewelry, is because there is some attachment to it, and this is true of this thing. But let's go over UK law a little bit. So what are you allowed to carry in the UK? In the UK, you are allowed to carry a folding knife, like this folding knife. But unlike this folding knife, that folding knife that you are allowed to carry cannot be locking. It has to be, now, or let me just see what I've got. Right, so the only knife I've got to hand right now, and actually one of only 2 knives I've got that are UK legal, is this Swiss Army knife that I've got. I hope you're all familiar with the Swiss Army knife, Victorinox. This thing here, this knife here, this is technically UK legal because the blade length is the right length. So it's got to be no longer than 3 inches. I think that's 7.62 centimeters, something like that. And it can't be non-locking. So this here is not locking. See, it can be pushed down, yeah? So, you know, it just really easy. You can't do that with, oh, excuse me, watch out, knife first, danger first, safety first. You can't push this bad boy down, no way. But this one here you can. And that's why this, essentially, I guess you might think of this more as a penknife. This might be more familiar to you as a penknife. That's what you might call this. This is UK legal. No more than 3 inches, folding, and non-lockable. Okay, so it mustn't be lockable. What's illegal in the UK? A knife more than 3 inches, a fixed knife, a folding knife that has locks in any way, any kind of lock upon it, that's illegal. And it's funny, as I look over my collection of knives, of which there are quite a few now, there are no UK legal carry knives, which is alarming, judging that I now have an everyday carry channel and I'm going to be reviewing and pushing these. All I've got is illegal. So we're going to have to go shopping, which is great. This is a great problem to have. We're going to have to go shopping. And I've got my eye on a couple of knives that I'm interested in, and we'll do that as time goes on. But I wanted you to know, if you're someone who already has knives, just a refresher on what the law is. And secondly, if you're someone who's getting into knives, to know right now what you can get. Now, isn't it illegal to own lockable knives? No, it's not illegal to own knives over a certain length. It is illegal to carry them. But it should be said, even this Swiss Army knife with all of its tweezers and scissors and nail file and corkscrew, this thing here, even though it keeps some of the parameters, right? It's the right length, it doesn't lock. This could be deemed a illegal knife, an illegal knife. If you haven't got a good reason why you're carrying it, you always have to have a good reason, okay? So if you haven't got that, you can't do it. Yeah, without a good reason to be carrying this, and if you get stopped by the police or by authorities and you give the wrong reason for carrying this, you're at the very least have this confiscated off you and destroyed. At the very least, you might be going for a bit of a conversation, maybe a caution, maybe even some time in a cell. We just don't know. So the rules, quite simply, a bladed knife that folds, doesn't lock, and is no longer than 3 inches is your safe spot for knives. But even then, you need a reason for carrying it. And your reason can never be self-defense. You're not allowed in England to have anything on you, a set of keys, a sovereign ring, anything on you that you claim is for self-defense. If you claim an item that you're carrying is for self-defense in England, if you state that as a matter of fact, you're then saying that you have an offensive weapon on you, a weapon you're holding with intent to do violence, and that's trouble. That's trouble. You don't want to do that. You don't want to get involved in that. And I've known this for a while, so why have I, like an idiot, been carrying this in some ways? Because this was gifted to me. It is a special knife. It has a couple of bits of text on it on the front. It says "Become Good Soil." Now, the conference I went on was in Colorado Springs, ran by an organization called Wild at Heart. And it was a conference for men. I think there was, I can't remember how many men there were on this one, but it was like a Thursday to a Sunday conference. I went with a good friend of mine, did the whole America, driving across America thing, loved it, rented a big truck, went to this retreat up in the mountains and really worked some stuff out and made some decisions and changes in my life at this conference. And during the conference, they gave every man that was there a knife as a way of saying to get in touch with maybe what was deemed aggressive or toxic in you, but wasn't really. It was just maybe functional. It was just maybe testosterone based. And, you know, some people, I don't know what it is about men. Sometimes we like to throw things and hit things, and we like sharp things, and we like, generally, not in every case, but we like to know how things function. We like engines and architecture. We like certain things, you know. They're just, men are wired a certain way, and they gave us each one of these knives. And on the front it says "Become Good Soil," but on the back, just above the pocket clasp. You can't see it there, so you might be able to see it, but I doubt it very much. I'll zoom in. I've got some macros of it, right? It says hello trouble. It says hello trouble. At the conference they played us this advert. If I can play it, hopefully this won't get us kind of thrown off.
Hello, trouble. It's been a while since we last met. But I know you're still out there. And I have a feeling you're looking for me. You wish I'd forget you, don't you, trouble? When I see those horsemen come across the land, take this worn out soul of a working man. Stand up, Peter, I'm knocking down the gates to lay with my Pollyanna. Perhaps it is you that has forgotten me. Perhaps I need to come find you. Remind you who I am.
I love that. There's something about that advert. They caught something of men and their desire, not to cause trouble, but to face trouble, to face it head on. A lot of men, we retreat, but actually really what's needed and where we function best is in defending, stepping into the breach, stepping into danger and trouble and difficulties, where actually we can flourish if we'll only face it. So yeah, this knife is getting retired, not solely because of what it is, although that's a problem, but actually because it means a lot to me. It means a lot to me, and I don't want to lose it. I don't want to actually lose it out of my pocket, and I don't want to lose it by getting stopped by the police, security somewhere, and them not feeling I have a good enough answer, and they take this away from me, because this has huge sentimental value. And as I said earlier, a lot of the stuff we carry with us day to day, it does have sentimental value. And the story of this knife is a story of me finding out a little bit more of what it means to be a man, doing it with some other guys, and welcoming trouble, not running from it, but welcoming it. So yeah, that's why I'm going to stop carrying this knife, because it's legit and I want to keep it, and it's a very important item to me. So anyway, in a future episode, we will be off to a little bushcraft shop that I know that sells knives, and I've got my eye on a couple of knives that we're going to buy, and they're going to be they'll be UK legal, and they're something that we will carry every day. They'll be fit for purpose, and they won't get me arrested or in trouble if I am caught with them. So yeah, that's it. Quick one in and out. Just get it done. If you're interested in knives, do your research. Go onto a website like Henny Hines or somewhere. Will have a section where you can put UK legal as a search category, and it will give you all the results. Don't be put off carrying a knife. They are great things to have, great tools to have on you at all times. But do, in the UK, be very, very careful and keep to the law as best you can. That's it. This has been ABC of EDC. Just a quick one in and out, and I'll see you on the next one. Later.